All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Next on the Power. So I got a little bit of an update on Phil Heath here at less than a month out from the 2018 Mr. Olympia. So the Olympia is in just under 4 weeks. On September 14th is when the Olympia weekend begins. And Phil Heath just did a training session where NPC News Online filmed him and took pictures of him over there at Jim Mannion's gym in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which I actually just drove past on my way back from New York this week. But the one picture in particular that a lot of people have been sending me via DM is this picture of Phil Heath hitting a front double bicep in front of the NPC logo, which is obviously a front double bicep. So a lot of things stuck out to a lot of fans in this picture. In particular, the number one comment that I'm seeing in my direct messages is how small his waist looks and how good his taper actually does look. Now, granted, he has a tank top on, and you can't actually see his midsection, but even through the tank top, you can see that he looks very tapered and has a very small waist in this photo. So props where props are due. And I even commented that on Phil Heath's post. You got to admit, whether you like him or don't like him, it's very apparent to me that he's made improvements in the main area that people have been criticizing him for. The number one criticism that Phil Heath gets every year is the size of his waist. And it seems that he is, really focusing on correcting that this year, as evidenced in this photo. So the other thing that seemed to stick out to a lot of people in this particular photo is that Phil Heath looks to be downsized compared to other versions of Phil Heath that we've seen. And personally, I think this is a good thing. We obviously know Phil Heath had the double hernia last year, which he got fixed, and I think that is going to contribute to an improved version of Phil Heath and specifically improved midsection. But in addition to fixing the hernia, I think one of the problems that Phil Heath may have had, and this was trying to compete with guys like Big Ramy, and that is playing the size game, trying to be bigger and fuller and rounder to compete with a guy like Big Ramy, who's supposedly nearly 300 pounds on stage. So I think the fact that Phil Heath appears, quote-unquote, downsized in this photo is actually a good thing. We don't want to see a crazy, full, crazy round Phil Heath at 4 weeks out. We want to see a depleted, smaller, downsized Phil Heath, because I've said this before many times, and I've seen a lot of fans say this as well. Like 2010, 2011 Phil Heath was one of the best versions of Phil Heath we ever saw, and he was much smaller or significantly smaller than he is as of late, as of recently. I mean, go back and look at pictures of Phil from the 2011 Olympia. He's damn near a perfect bodybuilder. There's no criticism that you could even really have of Phil Heath back then. No issues with the waist. Conditioning was razor sharp. And I think if we see another version of Phil Heath like that in 2018, he's going to prove a lot of people wrong, including myself. I mean, initially after I watched the 2017 Olympia, I thought that might be the last year that we see Phil Heath win an Olympia. But after Phil Heath came out talking about his hernia, talking about getting it fixed, talking about how serious the problem really was. And then, as time went on, as we saw more updates from Phil Heath, and we didn't really see any more distension from him after he claimed he fixed that problem, I started to change my opinion. So again, whether you like Phil or not, I think we are on track to seeing certainly a better version of Phil Heath than we saw last year. I 100% believe that Phil Heath is going to be better than last year and probably going to be good enough to win that 8th Mr. Olympia title. So let me know what you guys think about how Phil Heath is looking in the comment section below at less than 4 weeks out from the Olympia. Thank you guys for watching the video, and please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.